Okay, how's everybody doing this evening? Of course, my name is Kent. The channel is EOS San Diego. And once again, I have the streets all to myself. Because it's about 2 a.m. in the morning here in San Diego, and as well as being about 45 degrees, which for San Diego is freezing. And that's why I'm all dressed up in a leather jacket and a hoodie, because it's cold. You get used to moderate temperatures. So this time of year, we're in the winter time, so everything's pretty quiet. But I want to talk a little bit tonight about how EOS, a blockchain is going to emerge as the prominent blockchain from this, I would say, this downward time that we're in. So somebody is going to come out as the dominant blockchain. The blockchain that really is what we use in the future. I mean, there's private blockchains right now. Amazon's getting ready to launch one, or has already launched one. There's other companies that have done it, IBM and stuff like that. But there's going to be a blockchain that's used by the public blockchain. That's going to be used by everybody. That's going to emerge as the dominant blockchain. And I think that's what the struggle is right now. What blockchain? We have Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a store of value intended to be a currency, but basically right now it's a store of value. But then we have the Ethereum and the EOS and the smart contract blockchains, other blockchains out there that do smart contracts. But what blockchain is going to be the dominant blockchain in the future? What protocol will take over future blockchain, the blockchain, as far as being able to record on a decentralized database throughout the world? What is the blockchain that's going to control that? And that is really the question going on right now, and that's what's going to happen. Hey, pretty good. How about yourself? You got in my video. Thanks. All right. So a few people out this time of night, but not many. Not as many as usual. So back to my question about what blockchain will control. What blockchain will be the dominant blockchain? And of course, Ethereum has been the blockchain everybody's been using for smart contracts, but Ethereum has the issue of scalability. But now Ethereum is going to more of a proof of stake concept. So the proof of stake concept is a concept I believe will be the concept that wins, the proof of stake concept. And everybody is moving towards proof of stake. That is the concept of Cardano, of EOS, of Ethereum. All these blockchains are proof of stake, because the only way to get scalability in blockchain world is to have some way of trusting the block producers, or the people that build the blocks. And the only way to do that is for them to have a stake in it. And in the case of EOS, the stakeholders, the owners of the token, actually vote the block producers in. If the block producers, if the people that own the token take the initiative to make the vote and educate themselves about who they want as block producers. That is why EOS has scalability and speed, and that's the only way the blockchain is going to work in the future. It has to be able to accept all the information that's being recorded on it. And if that's not the case, then it'll basically be as Bitcoin is right now, which is something that's very limited in use because there's transactions per second problem. So EOS is going to be the protocol, and of course this whole protocol comes from Dan Larimer, because Dan Larimer was the one in the very initial stages of even Bitcoin, argued that it had a scale problem, and said that this is the only way to do blockchain. And I believe now everybody, this is the protocol everybody's trying to move to. Even those proof of work protocols are trying to get closer to proof of stake, because they know they've got to pick up the speed. This is the only way to do it. So EOS will be, I believe, the blockchain that wins out over all other blockchains in the future. And this is the thing that's going on right now. They're trying to sort out who's going to be on top and who's going to take over the future. And I think EOS is the one that's going to do so, because of the fact of the proof of stake concept, and because of the fact that EOS has been able to blend a code, which is strict code, which is something that's very code is very, what would you say? Coding is something that is very harsh. It it either works or it doesn't work. It doesn't have any flexibility to it. So, and like I've said in my other videos, you got to have some flexibility to this blockchain. It has to be able to adjust to the future. It has to be able to adjust to the way people use it. It has to be able to adjust to problems of people losing money on the blockchain and not being able to recover it. I mean, I see EOS Bet had a problem here recently with losing some money. I mean, you have to be able to fix those problems. And if you can't fix those problems, then nobody will trust it. If they don't trust it, then nobody will use it. And that's the issue. EOS is being able to blend that as well as anybody. It's not perfect. The EOS Constitution is not perfect. EOS is not perfect, but they've been able to blend the code with the governance, the code with the ability to be flexible. And that's the advantage EOS has right now. And they're the primary leaders in that. In fact, when I look at all the blockchains and everything going on, I really think EOS is so far ahead of everybody else. It's not even funny. I mean, I know Ethereum works on getting closer to a proof of stake concept. And of course, there's other blockchains out there that try to use proof of stake. But EOS is so far ahead in that concept, and it's so far ahead and advanced in that. And obviously, in this period of time with low prices and not much money coming into this, and not many people wanting to maybe invest a lot of money in blockchain right now, they have an ability to perfect this. This is a time where EOS, and like I said last night in my video, downtimes aren't always bad times, but downtimes can be an ability for someone to gain market advantage, to be able to dominate markets, because during this time they can adjust and prepare, and they can, you know, they can make it better, while everybody else is kind of waiting for better times, or waiting for times that money is easier to raise. And that's the issue going on right now. Money is very difficult to raise right now, almost impossible to raise. No ICOs. Not many people are investing lots of money in blockchain, because there is the question of who's going to dominate, and the question of what system and what protocol is going to be the dominant protocol in the future. So I would say EOS right now is an experiment. An experiment of blockchain, an experiment of trying to figure out what it's going to take, what formula it's going to take for this to work. But EOS is not rigid. EOS can bend to the demands of blockchain. It can bend to the demands of whatever people want to build on this. So EOS is not only an experiment, it has the ability to readjust to whatever it is that needs to happen in the future for it. And nobody knows this for sure, because the Constitution has to, the Constitution has to be able to be amendable. It has to be able to have referendums. It has to be able to be adjusted to what people feel like, or what people want it to be, because nobody knows, nobody can predict all the things that possibly could happen in the future. So you have to have a way of being able to do that. I think EOS does that better than anything. So basically, the video tonight is about just trying to say who's going to never fails. Who's going to dominate in the future? Who's going to be the one that makes that is the blockchain of the future? And of course, I think EOS is going to be the one. I appreciate you watching. Thank you very much.